What is up, you fine internet people? Welcome to Distractions and Dragons, another RPG related channel releasing content in this already saturated genre. I'm Tony, and today we're going to talk about first off, let's talk about what this video isn't. This video is not about how to make a character, how to properly DM, or the like. It's more of an advice video. Plenty of videos exist about how to optimize characters, how to optimize your first playthrough, how to bring together a group, and things like that. First up on the list is trying out multiple groups. Alright, both as a GM and a player. So the problem I see a lot is someone will have a bad experience with one, maybe even two groups, or with one specific player, and then they'll completely disregard the game, or they'll be scared to jump to another group, or they're not okay with any type of conflict, so they're not willing to tell the group that they're currently playing with, you know what, I don't think this is working out. I'm going to recommend that most specifically new players, find a group, whether that's online, in person. My preference is in person, but hey, to each their own, especially with resources available, time constraints, scheduling, things of that nature. But try different groups, all right? Not every group is the right fit for every player. I've tried, especially when I was jumping back into the hobby a few years ago, I tried a couple groups that were not the right fit for me. They were right fit for other players, not me. And that's fine. I ended up finding a couple groups that I now play in. One regularly, one when it's available, and we always have fun. We always go out of our way to try to get the schedule put together, and it's great. Don't be afraid to embarrass yourself. It's a role-playing game, all right? Whether it's D&D, Pathfinder, Shadow Dark, 10 Candles, or any of the other hundreds of TTRPGs out there, it's a role-playing game, all right? Don't be afraid to try the voice. Don't be afraid to add in the silly mannerisms. Don't be afraid to just experiment with your player character, all right? It's just a game. More than likely, if you're playing with seasoned players, they've tried a voice that didn't work out or changed over time. They attempted something that they didn't end up liking. They switched it up later on. That's completely fine. Try it. Might get some laughs at the table. It's okay. Just run with it. All right? Read the rules. Don't rely on others to hold your hand. You want to come in with at least a somewhat basic understanding of the rules, the gameplay, kind of what you're jumping into, all right? If you get something wrong, it's all good. We've all done it. Even those of us that have been playing for over 10, 15 years, it happens, all right? You don't memorize every rule, even on a system that you've been playing for years. You might jump into a new system. You might not be as knowledgeable about the rules. That's okay, all right? You'll figure it out. We'll all figure it out as a table. Again, just like in-game, everything is collaboration, even above the table. Ask questions. This isn't to contradict reading the rules, right? But even a game such as D&D, with plenty of available resources, has nuance. Let alone if you're jumping into a game with a bunch of homebrew rules or a system you've never played, it's all right to ask questions. I've never ran into a table where everyone there did not want to help out the new guy or gal. It's just something that happens, especially when you're learning. It's okay, all right? It's better to ask the question, get through real quick, especially if it's a question that you have before the game even starts, even better. We want to make sure that you have an understanding of the rules, and that's a big part of being a new player. As a player, play into your character. Just because you would act a certain way doesn't mean your character would. The things that help with this, you come up with an actual backstory Just like a person, your experiences and your background determine how you react to a situation. So when you're playing a character, having a backstory and having these previous experiences will help guide you in how your character is going to react. On that topic, there is sort of the tropey, the saying in D&D. It's a joke, but it's not. That's what my character would do, and then somebody does something that is counterproductive, counterintuitive to the overall narrative or the team part of the adventure, and it has just become sort of like a quote-unquote inside joke for RPGs in general. Don't be that person, all right? Keep in mind still that this game is a collaborative experience. Everyone's working together, including the GM, the players. You're all trying to tell a story, all right? So you don't want to make any completely absurd actions that take away any enjoyment out of the game, because that's what my character would do. You want to also keep in mind that your character is playing in this world. They are part of a team, an adventuring party, or whatever it is, depending on your system, and more than likely they would take that into account. Don't be afraid to steal ideas from material that already exists. Movies, TV shows, books, other games. Whether you're a player building a character or homebrewing a campaign, don't pain yourself on trying to be entirely unique. I can almost assure you that people you are playing with probably won't notice if you steal an idea or two or a plot arc or anything of the such. Any DM, GM, any veteran player that says that they haven't done this in some aspect, I'm going to call a liar. Recruit. So let's say you don't have anyone to play with. I'm going to recommend you ask family, friends, if they want to play. If that doesn't work out, reach out online. There are plenty of social media groups. The ones that come to mind for me are there's a bunch of Facebook groups in my area that are dedicated to finding players that want to play. Let alone the abundance of online groups that exist, especially post 2020. The last few years, D&D, let alone all really sort of the genre of TTRPGs, have had a renaissance with shows such as, Vox Machina, Stranger Things, Critical Role, and a bunch of other forms of media. Someone close to you is honestly probably curious. So I say these last two because they're probably the most controversial. Let me know in the comments. So use ChatGPT or other generative AI. Let's say you are having trouble making your first character. You have the rule book. You're still not confident that it's what you're doing it right, and you're still just having a little trouble. Ask ChatGPT to build something out for you. Either to give you a better idea of how to do it or to give you a character to tweak to your liking. I had a brand new player actually do this probably sometime last year when we decided to play. They showed up to the table with a couple of more seasoned players, and they said that he didn't need help with his character build, which I just assumed he built his character just straight out of the book, which is fine. I reviewed his character. It looked all good. He played through the session and only admitted afterwards that he used ChatGPT to build out a character after giving it the guidelines for the build. It was a solid build, if I'm being honest, and he played well. It's no different than, at least in my eyes, it's no different than using a pre-generated character sheet. Last but not least, and I feel like this is going to get the most hate, watch or listen to actual plays, all right? Again, controversial, especially for new players. I know that if you go into, RPG horror stories, this is how probably half of these stories start out. But honestly, I think it's a good way of familiarizing yourself with gameplay, rules, characters, and world building, and just table etiquette. But temper your expectations, okay? When we're talking about actual plays, you have to remember that they are typically for entertainment, similar to a TV show. That's probably not going to be the experience that you have at your table, which is fine. There are more good DMs than bad out there, but just keep in mind you're probably not going to be playing or you're probably not going to have the game run by Brennan Lee Mulligan, Matt Mercer, or any of these famous GMs that are online, which is fine, right? But just keep that in mind. You want to temper your expectations, but they are a great resource. Hopefully you got some value from this video. If you did, show some love. Give me a like or subscribe. Comment some topics you want me to cover in the TTRPG space. Nothing's out of bounds. I'll try to cover as many that are recommended to me. If you thought I was an absolute tool, let me know that too in the comments, please. By all means. This is the internet. Let's get wild in those comments, okay? Until next time, this is Tony with your Distraction from the Real World. Signing off.